Hey everybody. Hi, I am live here. I'm Anjanette Levy. If you've never been to my page before, my channel, thank you so much for tuning in. If you've been here before, welcome back. Please remember to hit that like, hit that thumbs up button, and please subscribe. I am en route to Boise, Idaho. I told you I would come on here today. I should already be in Boise, but I had a major detour, guys. Major detour. I am actually in Seattle right now. I got to the airport really bright and early today to go to the airport to go to Atlanta to connect to fly to Boise. And I was walking to the gate to take my flight and get on the flight. And guess what? They texted and said, "I'm sorry, your flight is delayed until 11 a.m." And at that time, it was sometime after 6 a.m. And so that was not going to work. So it's crazy. So I had to rebook flights very quickly. I am now in the Seattle airport getting a quick bite to eat. I know there's a lot of news today. We had the sentencing of Stephen Stearns, the big plea agreement. I want to talk to you more about that later. And if I get to Boise tonight and am still walking and talking and awake, I can do a live on that. I'm somewhat flabbergasted by the Stephen Stearns plea agreement, but the state attorney is saying in that case that the family is supportive of this. He pleaded no contest to murder, to first-degree murder of Maddie Soto. He did not plead guilty. He pleaded no contest, meaning he's not contesting the charges. It's kind of similar, but in a way, it lets him kind of never say, "Yeah, I did it." But I wanted to talk to you guys about what greeted me when I got off the plane today. I've been on a plane all day. I was supposed to go, just to remind you, I was supposed to go from where I live to Atlanta. And then I was supposed to connect and go from Atlanta to Boise. I was supposed to land in Boise at like around 3 o'clock Mountain Time. That did not happen because I was walking to the gate after getting up at 5 a.m. this morning. And getting up at 5 a.m. this morning to go to the airport so I could go to Boise and get settled and do things and work and type and do everything I needed to do. And I'm walking to the gate and I get the text that the flight is canceled or delayed until 11 a.m. That's not going to work. So then I had to fly to Detroit. I land in Detroit and then fly to Seattle. I'm now in Seattle, which actually the airport here is, I actually like it. It's kind of cool. It's kind of nice. Nice restaurants, stuff like that. I just bought dinner that was really small and way overpriced, but I have to say it was delicious. But I'm still hungry and I'm going to have to go find more food and spend even more money on airline food. But just, this is what I got to tell you guys. The internet on the plane, of course, does not work well at all. I mean, sometimes it's working and sometimes it's not. So I'm trying to work and type and all of this stuff. I get off the plane and I'm walking off the plane and I see on Instagram a post about President Trump weighing in on the Kohberger case. And I'm like, is this real? And I'm like, well, of course it's real because President Trump weighs in. And I'm not trying to get political here at all, but I covered the guy for years when I worked in local news. I covered politics. I interviewed him twice, right before he got the Republican nomination in 2016, and then again in 2019 after he was the president. And I was like, you know, I've covered him, I've interviewed him, so I'm not surprised that he's weighing in on this, even though there's nothing President Trump can do about this at all, because this is a state case. This is not a federal case. And he wouldn't have there's nothing he can do. We have a separation of powers in this country. But I'm thinking to myself, what on earth is Ann Taylor thinking about all of this? I'm thinking she's got to have a thought about this. So I get off the plane and I see this Instagram post that President Trump has talked about Bryan Kohberger and the fact that he needs to basically say what he did. And I'm thinking to myself, was this a press conference? Was this a tweet? Was this a Truth Social post? Well, it turns out it's a Truth Social post. And I'm going to share it from the Gonsalves family page. Because I just thought to myself, how did this happen? Like, I'm getting off a plane and this is like pretty wild. So let's look and see. I'm going to show this to you really quickly. And I'm sorry if you can hear this music in the background. It's super loud. It seems like right as I hit the go live button, we heard Michael Jackson blaring in the background, which I like the music. Don't get me wrong. They've been playing great music here, but it's a little loud. So let's share my screen and show you what this says, this Truth Social post. It says July 21st, 2025, 1:50 p.m. That would be Eastern time. Bryan Kohberger, who was responsible in Idaho for the deaths of 4 wonderful young souls, has made a plea bargain deal in order to avoid the death penalty. These were vicious murders with so many questions left unanswered. While life imprisonment is tough, it's certainly better than receiving the death penalty. But before sentencing, I hope the judge makes Kohberger, at a minimum, explain why he did these horrible murders. There are no explanations. There is no nothing. People were shocked that he was able to plea bargain, but the judge should make him explain what happened. Thank you for your attention to this matter. So that's kind of interesting. And I was like, that's pretty wild that he's weighing in, although he does weigh in on things all the time. So the Gonsalveses, they posted this and they said, I definitely do not want to get into politics at all. So I hesitated even posting this, but wow, absolutely shocked. Haley, Maddie, Xana, Ethan, you have always mattered so much. You are so loved in your nature, your light, your entire being is so bright and visible. You guys did this. You guys deserve every last ounce of recognition for this. So the Gonsalveses believe that just the beauty of these kids and just their pure innocence, that they were innocent victims, has prompted the President of the United States to weigh in on this case, which he does weigh in on things from time to time, things that maybe usually a president of the United States in a typical administration wouldn't. Now, let me just explain to you, like, there's separation of powers in this country. The president is saying this, and he obviously, I mean, he's like, I hope the judge does this, makes him explain himself. But we don't know if that's actually, I mean, I wonder if Judge Hippler's like, oh God, now I've got to deal with this. I've got the president of the United States saying something about this case, trying to influence what I do. And I wonder if he'll address it. I wonder if Ann Taylor's like, oh God, I got the, Trump. I'm assuming she's, I don't know what political persuasion Ann Taylor is, but I'm thinking she's probably not, I don't know, maybe she's a Trump supporter. I probably isn't, but she's probably thinking, I'm assuming as a defense attorney, she'd be very offended by this, by the president of the United States weighing in on her client's case. So I'm like, is she going to say even the president of the United States is, poking his nose into this case? Everybody, everybody's against my guy and has been from the start. So it's just very, very interesting to me that this is happening. So it's going to have no impact on the case and on the sentencing. The sentencing was agreed upon. Life in prison without the possibility of parole. 4 consecutive life sentences. That's the agreed upon sentence. And that's what Hippler is going to go along with. But I could see, and I need to talk to a legal expert about this, is and Taylor are going to have a conniption about this and bring this up on Thursday or on Wednesday, pardon me. I'm getting my days mixed up, guys, because I'm all like running on fumes here. Do you want to see my dinner that I had? I hesitate to even call this dinner. I want to say that it was a very expensive snack is what it was. Here's my very expensive snack that I'm still eating. But yeah, so we have the President of the United States weighing in on this. It almost reminds me, but it's not really similar at all, because the Kyle Rittenhouse case, if you recall that case, Joe Biden kind of made some remarks about that case, as did President Trump when that happened back in 2020. I mean, that's a totally different case in my mind. It was so politically charged, and you actually had that on video. You could see what happened on video. So, you know, that to me was a different case. This case, I don't know, it's a different vibe, it's a different feel, it's a different set of circumstances, completely different set of circumstances. We have somebody in this case who all of the experts will tell you sounds like he was a budding serial killer. That's what the experts will tell you. There is not one expert that you are going to find in this country who is going to tell you that, oh, Bryan Kohberger can come back from this and be rehabilitated. Not even his defense attorney thinks that. She wouldn't have agreed to this deal, because guess what? There was no coming back from this. And she knew her chances of getting an acquittal in this case were very, very, very slim. He had no avenues of defense. His only avenue of defense was planted evidence or hung jury at best. You know, like that's all they could hope for. I want to say, guys, thank you to the mods for being here. I didn't even ask them to come, and they just showed up. So sorry, guys. Like, thank you so much, Webby and Melmac. Thank you for hopping on here, and Moderator and Monty. Thank you so much for hopping on here. I literally saw this and thought to myself, I have got to hop on and talk about this really quickly. So I really appreciate you guys just hopping on here. And when I just laughed, I'm laughing at the silliness of myself. I am not at all laughing about the circumstances of these crimes. I've seen some people in the comments thinking that when I chuckle sometimes that I am, and I'm not at all laughing about that. So I'm wondering, what do you guys think about this? What do you think about President Trump weighing in on this? As I sit here and try to make sure you can hear me over the music in the Seattle airport. And just FYI, I'm going to have to check when my plane boards, because I can't miss my flight. It's been a day, guys. I will go into greater detail another time about what a day it's been, because I have a lot of stories to tell you, but I figure you don't really want to hear about that right now. You should probably be very lucky, and you should feel lucky and fortunate I didn't log on at the Detroit airport, because I was fit to be tied earlier. We have a new member. This is very sweet. Thank you so much. Oh, CR, that's so sweet. Welcome to the channel. Thank you for coming on. You guys, I don't know if I'll be able to do it when I get to Boise tonight, because I'm banking on actually being on time. But when I get to Boise tonight, it's going to be like, I think I land at 7 o'clock Mountain Time, which is 9 Eastern Time. And part of me is like, do I pop on when I get to my hotel and do a live then? I don't want to ask anybody to like stay up late for me or anything, but my God, the Stephen Stearns sentencing and the plea agreement. Yes, they're saying Maddie's family supported this, but you know what? I've got a lot to say about it. I just feel like nobody was looking out for that poor girl. Nobody was looking out for Maddie Soto. And I hope if you believe in heaven, I hope Maddie Soto is in heaven doing everything that a 12 or 13-year-old girl, since she only got to be 13 for barely a week. I hope she's doing everything a 13-year-old girl should be doing. Let's see. Johnny Knoxville says, I have zero problem with the POTUS standing up for victims like these families. The prosecution made the deal before telling the families. Awful. So Johnny Knoxville's okay with it. Guy Davis, I agree with Trump. A full allocution by Kohberger is needed. So you guys, it's funny. I called my mom, or I texted my mom, because when I got off the plane, like the internet, sometimes it would work on the plane, sometimes it wouldn't. And my mom, I don't know if I've told you guys this before, but my mom counseled sex offenders for years. This is like an Anjanette secret. So my mom, I always bounce cases off of my mom. She's a really smart lady. And I won't go into a lot of detail about like the type of counseling she did, but she counseled sex offenders. And I texted her. I said, "Hey, Mom, I just got up," because she was like, "Have you landed?" She didn't know about the whole ordeal with the planes. And when I complain about the plane, guys, I want you to know what happened this morning is nothing compared to what the families of Maddie, Ethan, Xana, and Kaylee have been through. Okay, I'm not even trying to so just. The day didn't go according to plan. Things could be much worse, and I'm aware of that. So I want to make that clear. But my mom's like, "Hey, are you there yet? Did you make it? Are you there yet?" Because she wanted to know that I got here all right. And I said, "No." I was like, my flight got messed up, and I had to rebook. Long story. And I said, Trump just put out a tweet or something that. Tweet that Kohberger should have to explain himself. So I'll tell you, my mom. It's funny, my mom, I usually talk to her about my cases, the cases I cover a lot about. I call them my cases, right? I bounce stuff off of her, but we haven't really talked that much about this one. And so Mom said, I said, Trump apparently is saying Kohberger needs to explain himself. And she said, good, I agree. It's classic, my classic Holly. That's my mom's name is Holly. But my mom's a really funny lady, guys. She's a hoot. So again, if you're just joining, thanks for joining me on this pop-up live. I'm going to call this a pop-up live, because I literally, if you're just joining, thanks so much for tuning in. Please give me a thumbs up and subscribe. If you're just tuning in, I am in the Seattle airport. Travel plans got messed up today. I got off the plane and saw the Truth Social post from President Trump. I first saw it on Instagram. I didn't know if he said it on camera. I didn't know where he said it. But he's saying that Bryan Kohberger the judge needs to ask him to explain himself. And so say why he did the murders, etc. I don't think Judge Hippler is going to be taking orders from Trump because, separation of powers. President Trump's up here on the federal government, state government, separation of powers. He's the judicial branch. President Trump, federal level, executive branch. He's not going to like the president of the United States trying to influence him. And I'm sure Bill Thompson doesn't like it. I'm sure Ann Taylor doesn't like it. But this is the world. This is where we are in the world. So, guys, I'm in the Seattle airport. So I was like, I got to go on and talk to the people on YouTube about this. You guys are my people, right? You're my peeps. So let's look at this super chat. This is Arizona Gal 89. Thank you for the super chat. Hi, Anjanette. Thank you for your coverage on these important cases. I really enjoy your channel. Safe travels. Thank you. It's so sweet of you. Thank you so much. So I'm going to look at more of your comments before I try to eat the rest of my incredibly expensive snack, and then go try to find more food because I'm still really hungry. This flight to Seattle was so long that they did 2 rounds of snacks. And I was like, oh my God, I need food. I'm going to fall over. Let's see. Johnny says his mom coming on the pod, Anjanette Levy. I should have her, right? My mom is no nonsense. She's a very smart lady. Taya Toys is in the house. Taya Toys says, I don't think Bryan will talk. We talked about this yesterday. A lot of people don't think he'll stay at peak, and he may very well not. Crypto Catherine says, Trump didn't say anything that many others have said. I love that he weighed in. STMN, I think that's Saint Mountain, maybe, or Stone Mountain, maybe. I don't know. He should say and explain everything. Twizzle Stick says Seattle sucks. Well, I've never been to Seattle. The airport's as far as I've made it, but at first I was like, oh, I don't know about this airport. But then I started walking and I'm like, oh, it's not so bad, you know? Let's see what else everybody is saying. Amy says, Anjanette, if you live stream later, I'll be there. Guys, I feel like I should do something, but I'm not promising it. But I feel like I should, even if it's like 25 minutes or something short. I'm looking for more of your comments. This is not Elways. This is Salties by the Sea. But I'm going to have to... Dana C says, Anjanette, do you suspect the families of the victims contacted President Trump? I have no idea. I guess it's possible, but I don't know. I just know he likes to weigh in on things, the news of the day, and he's an avid news watcher. I know that. As I said, I interviewed him twice when I worked in local news, and I just know from covering him, he doesn't miss a beat. He watches a lot of news, and he doesn't sleep a whole lot either. Okay, Bell V. I'd like to know more about the Kohberger mother. She really wrote a letter to a paper defending Bundy. She wasn't defending Bundy. She was opposing the death penalty for Ted Bundy. I'm telling you guys, I think that based on what we know from the Dateline special and just based on what I was talking about with the Sarge the other night, I really do think there is some sort of, I think Bryan Kohberger was fixated on or had a fixation with Ted Bundy. I think he was trying to walk in the footsteps of Ted Bundy somehow, or was an acolyte of Ted Bundy. I don't know if we'll ever find that out, but that's what I'm thinking. Guys, I'm going to have to get off here because I need to finish my expensive snack. And then do you guys want to talk about the Epstein files? I've seen people talk about the Epstein files. Maybe I'll talk about that another time. But I got to get off here because I got to start walking to my flight. I got to go and finish my expensive snack. But guys, I appreciate you tuning in. Thank you so much. Remember to give me a thumbs up if you're watching on replay. Sorry if we're a little disjointed here, but I'm in the Seattle airport. It's loud and I did the best I could, but I just thought I should weigh in on that. I will do my best to come back tonight, even if it's for like 20 minutes. We'll talk about Stephen Stearns, but there's still more to talk about later in the week. But I thank you guys so much for tuning in with me really quickly. Remember, hit that thumbs up, the like, and the subscribe, and I will see you guys soon. Hopefully the next time you see me, I will be in Boise. Johnny Knoxville, thanks for the super chat. At least you get to write off the expensive snack. Yes. We'll hope. The expensive snack. We'll see what happens. All right, guys. Take care. See you soon. Bye.